We start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And big topic is the same, very interesting topic. Spent some time discussing the relationships. And today's topic, one second. Yes, and today's topic is providing information. And it says, unlike the shadchan, a matchmaker or advisor, a third party, so last time, not the last time, the time before last, so we spoke about advisor, right? So he offers something, right? Some relationships. So now we're talking about the another person, right? The third party. Who is approached with a specific question about one of the party is not offering advice. Just one second, one more time. Like the shadchan or advisor, a third party who is approached with a specific question, but one of the party is not offering an advice. Okay. So just ask they ask this person a question. So I guess some practical question. So they would not ask like, is it good to marry to this guy? Not good to marry in general. Some specific question. So okay, so very good, right? So his primary concern, therefore, is not to sin in misleading others. His main responsibility is to be honest and to refrain from speaking that which might constitute Lashon Hara. So on one hand, he has to be honest, right, to say whatever he's asked, right? Otherwise, he can mislead. So every word or even expression, even the pause in some time in expressing oneself could lead a person can mislead a person very easily. And right, in the last sentence it says, and his main responsibility to be honest and refrain from speaking that might constitute Lashon Hara. Of course, he is obligated first to establish that it is for constructive purpose, right? If it's not for constructive purpose, somebody is asking me questions, so I would ask, why you asking me the question, right? Well, what is the purpose? Is it constructive? If they explain to you, yes, I'm Rabbi so-and-so, I'm inquiring about somebody, I would say, well, why are you asking, right? Just because he's a rabbi, that does not mean that, or somebody, he's entitled to all of the information that I know, right? So he will explain, I represent such and such person, she is looking to get married, to that person, he needs information. Okay, then after I establish that it is legit, and I can answer. So, but be very careful. So on one hand, you're not allowed to mislead. On another hand, you have to make sure that you don't say Lashon Hara. Okay. If asked whether the other party has a specific relevant shortcomings, it is certainly correct to tell the truth. For example, if one is asked about the person's character, and is aware that has an uncontrollable temper, this must be told to Alice for constructive purpose. So let's do this few sentences again because it's critical. Okay. If asked whether the other party has a specific relevant shortcoming, so it's not like they ask you to name all of the shortcomings that you are aware of with the other party. That's you would not need to respond to such a question, right? But it is certainly correct. So, but they ask specific question, right? It is certainly correct to tell the truth, right? For example, if one is asked about the other person's character and is aware that he has an uncontrollable temper, this must be told. So temper is a big issue, right? As the Rambam said, it's one of the huge issue that in all of the other character traits, he said you have to go in the middle of the road, not to this extreme, not to that extreme, but with the anger you have to go the opposite direction, right? So if somebody is like that, so that's the disaster to live with a person like that, We have to tell them, right? A must, right? Of course, it's lataelis for constructive purpose. Of course, the preconditions for the relating such information are required. Second-hand information must be presented as such. Constructive intent is required. So constructive intent meaning that you made sure that they really getting married, not not getting married. They really considering this possibility of shidduch, right? Second-hand information. So if it's second-hand, you have not seen the things about this person, so you just heard. You have to say, right? I never seen. I pray in a different synagogue. Let's say I live in a different neighborhood, but I was told so. Okay. Okay. So one more time, second-hand information must be presented as such. So you must say, if you did not see it with your own eyes, but you just heard, you have to say so. Constructive intent is required, we explained, and one may relate only that which is accurate and necessary. So don't go with all of the details. And by the way, since we're on the topic of this person, let me tell you what he did to me when we were in second grade. Okay, that's too much. So whatever they ask you, answer that question specifically. If, however, one is approached for information that an objective level is irrelevant, but in the eyes of the party is important. That's what we discussed. That's what was one of the questions that was asked. One is faced with dilemma. To provide the information is in effect assisting the unjustified abrogation of potentialities, but potentially successful shidduch. On the other hand, one does not have a right to mislead the party by the way of the false information. And if in so doing, decide the person's future for him without his knowledge. The Chofetz Chaim suggests in such a cases, one deferred of saying, I don't know. Why this is not considered a falsehood will be discussed later. Okay, so and there is continuation, different page, but before we continue, so let's try to understand. So now we are the person who is one of the references. So they call us and ask about this side that we represent. Okay, so one more time. If, however, one is approached for information that is on objective level is irrelevant. So that's one of the questions was. So some what would be a relevant information? I mean, somehow I don't have any idea. So for first like example that came to my mind. So they say, are your parents observant? Like, are they frum or they modern Orthodox? Let's say they ask. So I mean, the girl is very religious, right? Baruch Hashem. So what is the difference? They're not going. He's not going to live with your parents. Maybe they're going to move away, right? So, and if he would say that, let's say they're not Shomer Shabbos, for example, let's say that. So once the other person, the other side hears, as I say, it's a deal killer, right? So one more time. I think it's a more or less good example. If, however, one is approached for information that on objective level is irrelevant, right? Because he's getting married to the girl, not to her parents, but in the eyes of the party is important, right? Okay. So I mean, for them it's very important. For you, it's not. One is faced with a dilemma. So what is the dilemma? To provide information is, in effect, assisting in the unjustified abrogation of potentially successful shidduch. So as soon as they hear your information, whatever you said, they say, okay, cancel, check, that's it. You understand? But girl is good. What is the problem? So her parents is like this or like that. I mean, right? So okay, so that's the thing. Okay. So if you answer them truthfully, you're going to kill the Shidduch. It has no right. On the other hand, so and all of these scenarios where we have to, like, if you, as we said yesterday or the day before yesterday, so you have to like prepare yourself that you would be asked all of this information, and in a different situation, and sometimes like it's okay to say I do not know, or I don't know right now. I never thought of it. Let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Okay, so take your time, day or 7 days, whatever, and think about the matter, how to answer. Don't answer just because people are pressure your friends. So, you understand? So be very very firm. On the other hand, if one does not have a right to mislead the parent. So if observance of the parents is very important for them, for the other party. So because they would be embarrassed to have his or her parents over in their community. So like so, which is I understand that the other side, but on another hand, like why should we embarrass? Don't invite them. Go to their community. Go to I don't know, like why should we go to anybody? Right? Stay home. You understand? But this some people they worry very much about the status in society. That's the issue. You know, more than about the child's future. Okay, but as we said, you're not allowed to lie, right? If it is important to them, and you know that it is nonsense, and you're not allowed to lie. So what do? You follow Holy Chofetz Chaim, who suggests to say, I don't know. That's it. And why this does not constitute falsehood, we discussed later. Okay. Continue page 409. So let me see, 409. 1 second. Page 409. Apologize. 222. Okay, so here's a continuation. In summation, in summation, then if, for example, an eligible young man is insistent that the woman he marries is at least 4 years younger than he, should never have failed to examine the elementary. He should never have failed an exam in elementary school, or comply with some of the stipulations of sin irrelevance. One who is asked concerning such a matter should simply say, I do not. 1 second. I do not know. However, the shadchan may not suggest someone who does not meet these terms without first consulting the Rav. So we actually said that it's one of the previous. So let's see this piece and we explain. In summation, then, for example, an eligible young man is insisted that the woman he marries at least 4 years younger than he. So as we said before, it's an irrelevant thing, but he insisted. And maybe when he get to know her, so even though she is 2 years older, so he would be very happy to marry her. So for you now, for us now to provide the truthful information, is going to kill it, right? So if of course shadchan should never do it in the first place, right? But for us, I don't want to be a deal killer, so let them meet, right, first, okay? Or there are people like that, and I heard about such a people from others, right? So he's the man that she never failed exam in the elementary school. So some stupidity. She's the elementary school was 10-15 years ago. What is the connection with the person right now? But maybe that she's developed, she's this, she's that, like all of the craziness in the world, right? So or other such a stipulation. So you're allowed to say, I do not know. Okay, that's a good example. On another hand, like in my mind, like if person such a crazy person, basically he or she is not there. So maybe it's better to tell him the truth and kill the deal. Maybe yes, maybe no. Why maybe no? Because we don't know where these questions are coming from. Sometimes it comes from the mother. So and when you know the parents and you speak to a child, so child, I mean a grown-up child speaks exactly the phrases as his father speaks. It's unbelievable. So I mean, if it's something smart, yes, it's good, but many times it's not. No, not many times, but sometimes it's not. Okay, stop here. Any questions on what we said?